Hello, wonderful people on the internet. It's Oche Dev here once again. Your favorite Dev, your favorite guy. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so today too, I'm here with another tutorial. Okay, so in this tutorial, we are going to build a URL shortener. This is it. Let's preview it. So we are going to use Next.js and Django. So the API that you are going to use, you have already built it already in a tutorial. So if you have not checked it out, you can check up there. I'm going to link it to the video so you can check it out. I'm also going to leave a link to it inside the description below. So this is a URL shortener, so a clone of bitly.com. Okay, so this is how it functions. You paste a long URL here and give you a shortened version of it. So let's come here and let's grab this URL. This is Next.js documentation. Let's grab it. So I've copied it and I'm going to paste it here. Then I click on the shorten here. Okay, so it gives me a shortened URL. Okay, then I copy it. Then okay, so immediately see it goes off. Then let's open up that URL and see whether it's going to send us to the Next.js installation docs. So I'm going to paste it here. Alright, then I hit it enter. Okay, so it's loading up. Let's give it a few minutes, a few seconds, sorry. Alright, few seconds. Okay, so you can see it says it's redirecting us. Then you see we are being directed to we are being redirected to the Next.js documentation. Okay, so this is it. So that's it. So our URL shortener. Okay, so in this project, as I've already said, we are going to use Next.js and we are going to use Django REST framework as the back end. So we are going to build this beautiful UI here. Okay, so let's say we go to a wrong URL. Let me just open up another tab. Let me clear off for just one digit, and let's go to the a wrong URL that does not exist, or a shortened URL that does not exist. Okay, so when you go to a URL that does not exist, it is going to give us a 404 page. That means that and it says here, seems you are lost or your link is wrong. So this beautiful 404 page will also be built. So let's jump into it and let's keep the chat. Let's keep the chat short. Okay, before I jump into the project, I want you guys to know that I'm going to leave the link to the URL, the link to the completed projects hosted on GitHub inside the description below. And also, if you are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, please or kindly subscribe to the channel. We are going to build a lot of projects. Last week I released a video where we used Vue and Django, and this week we are using Next and Django. We'll be moving away from Django and we'll be going deeper into Golang and other frameworks and like React too as well. So please kindly subscribe to the channel. There are lots coming up. Also, I always forget to let you guys know that you can hit my social media. I leave the links inside the description below. If you have any question, you have any problem pertaining to the project that we build here, you can just hit me up and I'm going to help you fix those problems. Okay, so let's jump into the project. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to generate our project. So go to the directory where you want to start or where you want to create the project at. I'm going to do it at where I keep my recordings. So I start a new terminal session over here. So this can go down. Okay, so the next documentation. Yeah, so you are going to use npx to create this to create the app. So we copy this command here, npx create Knacks app. Then inside the terminal we create we paste the code over there. We are going to give a name to our app, so we are going to call it Bitly clone. Bitly clone. Oh no, Bitly underscore clone. Sorry. It's going to take up some time. Okay, so it's going to ask you whether you want to keep the project name. So let's just enter. You are going to use JavaScript. Our package manager is npm. And this project you are going to use Tailwind. Okay, so choose Tailwind as the framework, the front end framework. This you are going to use. Let's choose Axios. You are not even going to use it. And use Prettier. The length is Prettier. Testing framework none. Universal, we want to create an universal app. Deployment is going to be a static one, and let's use the jsconfig.json. Dev is the GitHub name. You can put up your GitHub name over there. We are going to use Git for version control, and it's going to install the packages. So I'm going to meet you when it is done. Okay guys, so now our project is done and the packages have installed. So I seeded into the folder that was created, that is the Bitly clone. Then when I was done, I opened it inside GitHub. I opened it inside Visual Studio Code. I'm sorry I can't show you those parts because my recorder broke down whilst I was in the middle of the recording. So sorry about that part. So when you have opened up the files inside Visual Studio Code, which should be very simple. I think I have the commands over. Okay, there's it. So when the project was done initializing, you just run cd bitly clone or whatever name that you give to the project. Then you open it with code.fullstop if you have Visual Studio Code on your computer. So when you open it, I did some cleanup on the views and the files inside the ones that were initially generated by Knacks.js. So inside the pages, this index.html file, I took out all the templates and I took out all the styles and the scripts out. And inside here, there is going to be one component here that is called the logo component. I also deleted that one. Then I added two assets. One is for the 404 page and one is for the home page. It's going to be in the files that is going to be hosted on GitHub, so you can check it out. So let's jump onto our project. So the first thing we are going to do, we are going to build the home page, and we are using Tailwind as usual. So we are going to use div. So all right, so the div is going to have some few classes. It's going to have a width full or w full. Then I'm going to give it a padding top 20, bg gray of 200. Then you are going to give it a min height of the screen width or the screen height. Sorry about that. Oh, it's supposed to be min. All right. Then inside it you are going to have an h2. Okay, so the h2 is also going to have some classes. So it's going to have a text of green 500. Then you are going to give it a text size of 4XL. Then a font weight of semi-bold. Okay. Then we are going to give it a margin bottom of 10. Okay, so inside here we are going to have bit.ly clone, bit.ly, sorry if I can spell, bit.ly clone. All right, so beneath you are going to have another div, and the div is, this div is going to be a flex div. That is where we are going to have our form and the image. So going to be a flex, going to have items, item center, sorry if I can spell center right. All right, then justify is also going to be center. I guess that's all. Then from there, you're going to have two divs in it. So you are going to have div. Okay, so the first div, you're going to give it some styling. It's going to have a, no, sorry, going to have a width of 8/12. Then it's going to be a flex container, so it's going to be a flex direction colon, then justify center. Then you're going to have items also center, then a padding in the x direction of 10. All right, then let's go to the lower one. Sorry, okay, it's also going to have some classes which are going to be Tailwind as usual, and you are going to give it a width of 2/12. Then it's also going to be a flex container, justify center, and item center, so that the image, oh sorry, what am I spelling, so that the image will be centered. Item center, let me spell this one right. All right, then inside it you are going to have an image tag. Okay, so let's leave out the src for now. Then let's give it a class of width full. Then you are going to bind on this one because you are going to use the image here, this link image here. Okay, so we are going to use require. Then let's close it. Then inside you are going to use single colon, a single quotation mark. Then you are going to require assets / link.svg. Okay, so inside this one here, or this div here, you are going to have two components. One component for the form, so form component, that's where we are going to paste our link or our long link, and another component for the shortened link, which we are going to call link component. Okay, so those ones, that's what is going to be inside this div. So let's save it and let's go and check it out. So inside our browser, sorry, we have an error. It's okay, sorry about that. It's supposed to be svg, so we save it, go back to the browser. So guys, you can see where I got to before the recording got spoiled. What is this saying? Oh, I'm having a lot of spelling mistakes. It's supposed to be assets. I don't know even what I spelled. Assets. Okay, so let's save it. I was almost halfway through the project, then the recorder spoiled the whole thing, so I was supposed to do it again. So let's refresh this so that we get to the correct thing. Okay guys, so this is what we have. Doesn't look like how I planned it. So this one is supposed to be in the middle and it looks a little bit plain. We don't have our form here, we don't have our link component, so we are going to center this one here, and when we are done we are going to jump onto the form component. Okay, so let's go back to Visual Studio Code. Then here let's just add text center. Okay, so it centers that title over there, text center. What am I spelling? Oh, all right, text center, like so. Then inside the components directory over here, I'm going to create a new file, called form.view. Okay, so now we have our form view here. So the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to scaffold. So if you don't know what I use for the scaffold, then it's a Visual Studio Code extension that is called Vita. So you can check the extension marketplace and you install it from there. Okay, so inside here you're going to have some simple style here, our simple HTML. So you're going to have a form. Okay, so a simple form here. We are going to handle the action ourselves, so we can take that part out. Then let's style this a little bit. You are going to give it a class of I'm going to give it a class of width full, then margin bottom of 10. Okay, inside it you are going to have an input text. That's what you are going to use to take the URL, the long URL from the user. So input text, so we can leave those things blank. What we need is a placeholder. All right, then inside it you are going to paste your long link here. All right, then I'm going to give it some few styling. So this I'm going to copy it and paste this so I will be able to move faster. Okay, so this is the styling. This is it. So you can pause it, then enter these things. Okay, so when you are done, you are going to have a button below. So this is what basically going to be a submit button. So in it you are going to have shorten, like a call to action. Shorten it by force. Okay, shorten it, then let's give some exclamation mark. Okay, then we are going to style this one to a bit. I'm going to copy those styles to in. Usually I would like to enter these styles and explain it, but to make our projects go faster and to keep the time a little bit short, that's why I've been pasting in the theory styles. They are basically very simple to understand. Okay, so let's save it. Let's go back into our index page, sorry. Then we are going to import that. We are going to import that component. So import, it's going to be import form from, it's going to be tilde, so that it goes to the root directory. Then we go into the component. Then inside the component you want the form view. The view will be attached to it for us. So inside here, inside the script still, we're going to have an export default. I'm going to export an object. What's wrong? Okay. Right. Export default. Then inside here, you are going to have component. Then you are going to have an object. So the object is going to have the form. So this one is ES6 typings. Okay, so inside here we can use the components here. So form, it's a self-closing tag. So let's save it. Let's go back and refresh. I don't know why my dev server does not auto refresh for me. Let's refresh this thing up and see whether we have our styles as we want it. Okay guys, so this is what we have. You have this beautiful thing over here, but we need the link part that shows the shortened link. Okay, the link component. So let's go and work on the link component. Okay, so inside the component store, the component directory, I'm going to create another file called link.view. So it's going to open up. Okay, so now we have it. So we are going to scaffold our template or our view. So inside the template, you are going to have a div. Okay, so this div is going to be a flex div. So let's give it, so class is going to have a width of 8/12. Then give it an MX auto. Then we're going to have a flex, justify center. Oh no, justify center. What am I typing? And we want to items also center. Wow, I need to go back to my typing school. Okay, then we want a margin in the y direction of 5 and a background of gray 500. Then we want a padding in the x direction of 5 and in the y direction of 3. Okay, and we want to, if I can type well, okay, and we want to soften the edges. Rounded LG, no XL is okay. Then the next thing I want to, you have two divs, one div for the link and the other link for the other div for the copy button. Okay, sorry. All right, so inside this you are going to have a p tag. So let's start the p tag a little bit. Class, we're going to have a text gray 100. Then that's all. So for the meantime, I'm going to populate it with some dummy text. So it's going to be http //localhost for 3000 and any random text like this. Okay, so the next thing that we want is the div that has the copy button. So div, so inside you are going to have a button that says copy. We need to style it a little bit. So I'm going to paste the styles here. Okay, so this is the style. You can pause it and check it out or type it in. All right, so let's save this. Go back to the index page. Then we are going to use this link component. So we have to import it in. Make some adjustment to the imports. Control D. So here's going to be link. We are going to add it to the component. So now we can use it inside our template. It's a self-closing tag, so we can save it, go back to our web page and refresh it. I don't know why this is not working with Synapse. It's strange. It's only the recording that is not working, but when I was building it, it was working perfectly. I don't know why. Okay, so this is what we have. So it's looking very ugly. I don't know why they're closely together. They have to be separate. I'm sure I made a mistake with the justify center somewhere. So let's check on this link. Justify, I knew it. Center. Okay, so it's okay. So now we have our home page done. So we have this form and this copy button, but we don't want to show this as soon as the user load up their page. We want to show it when the person has pasted the link here and he has requested it to be shortened. Then we have received a request from or a response from the back end. Then we show that response over here. So we are going to use a VIF to conditionally show it, okay, and we are going to work on the form so that it will be able to submit to the backend. Okay, so let's do those two things. So back to the index page, and we are going to have a VIF on this guy, on this component. So VIF let's give a space. All right, so VIF is going to be, if do you have the shortened link? Okay, then inside here you are going to form our data property. Then inside you are going to return an object. In the object you are going to have shortened link. Okay, and for the meantime it's going to be now link. It's going to be now. All right, then okay, I guess that's all. So that's what we need. So let's save it. Then the next thing that we want to work is on the form. We want to work on the submission for the form. So let's go back to our form component. So first you are going to apply an event listener on it. So you are going to apply a submit. Then you are going to prevent it with a modifier, event modifier. The function that is going to handle it is going to be called, let's call it handle submit. All right, then we are going to track the input that is going to be typed in by the user with a v module. So v model, and let's bind it to a URL. Okay, all right, so inside here I'm going to create the data property, sorry, and we are going to return an object that has URL, and it's going to be an empty link for the meantime. Okay, then the next thing that we will need is the we need is the methods. Okay, then inside the method we are going to have handle submit. All right, okay, so inside handle submit you are going to, handle submit is going to be an async function because you are going to use await in it, so async. All right, then first you are going to grab the data from here. We are going to post it to our back end. Okay, so first you are going to use a try catch statement. So you are going to try, All right. Okay, inside here, you're going to have, we are going to post to a create API view. So a create API view expects a form data, not a normal request body post. Okay, so first you are going to create a form data and store it into a variable called fd. So fd is going to be a new form data, instantiated. Sorry, here is supposed to be a capital D, form data. Then to the form data, you are going to append original link. That is the original link that is supposed to be shortened like so. That is what the backend, the API is expecting, a field with this original link here, sorry, comma, and it's going to have this dot $data dot URL. So the value that we want to send is going to be here, and this is the name of the form input. Okay, all right. So the next thing that we want to do is you want to const, sorry, let's give some space. Okay, so const, I'm going to call it res. I'm going to use our old girlfriend fetch API to use for this for the request. Yeah, we are not going to use Axios. So await a fetch, and it's going to be to the HTTP localhost port 8000. Okay, so if you are wondering where the link to the the Django REST APIs, the link to the Django REST APIs GitHub repository is also going to be inside the description below. Okay, so you can get to the code and start up the server. All right, but we are going to do that together, so don't worry. So port 8000 to API/create. Okay, I have to add the and then slash, or Django will cry. Okay, so you're going to await that. So when that is, because you are doing a post, you are supposed to add some other properties. So the method is going to be a post, then the body is going to be fd, which is the form data. So this is it. All right, then we want to check if the res.ok is not okay. We want to check if it's not okay, the response is not okay. Then we want to throw an error. Show error. The message should be just error, simple. Then if it is able to pass that part, then we want, sorry, here it's supposed to be true. All right, if you're able to pass this error part, or if the response is okay, then we want to get the data out of it, and we are going to await that one too, because it's going to return onto us a promise. So rest.json, sorry, rest.json. So we await it. When it is done, we want to set this .data. We want to clear the input field. $, where is it? $data.URL. We want to clear it. So we set it to an empty string. Okay. Then when it is done, we want to emit an event. Okay, so a custom event. So this $emit and you are going to call that event shorten length. Almost everything in this video is going to be called shorten length, so you have to get used to it. Shorten length. Oh no, wait, shortened. Oh wow, what am I spelling? Okay, shorten length, like so. Then we can also emit other args or other arguments. So you are going to emit with it the URL or the shorten length that is going to be returned from the back end. So inside the data that we have just made a JSON out, or we have passed to JSON, you are going to get out shorten length. Shorten underscore length. Okay, this is it. And if you have an error, we just want to console log it. So you can, as a challenge, you can add some error handling to this project. Okay, so for this recording, you are going to keep it simple. Message. All right, so let's save it. And with this, we are almost done with this component. So this is the function that is going to handle the submission to the back end. Okay, and let's go back to our index.view. So we saw that we are emitting a custom event, so we have to listen to that custom event and do something with it. Okay, so here it's going to be shortened length, and we are going to handle it with handle shortened length. It's weird, right? Don't worry. You can use different naming conventions. Okay, so let's grab this here and let's go down here and let's our methods. Set our methods. Going to, all right, sorry, oh no, not that way. Outside. Okay, so this shorten length here is going to take in what's the name, the length argument that we passed with it, or the argument that was passed with that was emitted with the event. Okay, so inside the length, we are going to, the link is going to look like something like this. Let me use a comment. So it's going to be something like this: http localhost port 8000. It's going to point to port 8000. Okay, then it's going to have some shortened code, but we want to grab the shortened code here. Then we use it on our host name, which is going to be port 3000. Then we are going to point that link to this URL here. Okay, if you are confused, don't worry, just follow along. It's going to all fall in place very soon. Okay, so we are going to what's the name, we are going to split this thing here and get this part off. So we are going to do let code is going to be equal to length.split. It's going to be a string, so we can use the split function on it, or the split method. You are going to split with a backslash. Then when you are done, we slice it and get the last. So when it splits, you are going to get an array. We want the last element inside the array, so you are going to use slice and use -1 to get to the last element. And when you are done, we are going to set this shorten link to the code that you are going to get from here, but it has been appended to our localhost 3000. Okay, so this .data $data .shorten link is going to be equal to a template string, and you're going to have http / port a localhost port 3000. Then here you are going to have the code, so let's interpolate it right like this. So I think that is all. So let's save it, and we are going to end the first part of the video here. So in the next part, we are going to start up the Django REST framework. Then we're going to pass this data here to the link component for it to display it. Okay, so until then, let's meet in the next part, or in the part 2. Okay, bye bye.